This week's episode is sponsored by The Gallery.
Do you have dull white walls?
Do you need something to brighten up your room?
If the answer is yes, then we have the website for you. The Gallery, based out of New York, is a curated collection of photographs from around the world. While we are unable to travel, this is a great way to bring a piece of the world to you. All prints are made from 100% recycled aluminum, giving your wall that gallery finish. Right now, The Gallery is offering our listeners 15% off their purchase by using offer code 15OFF.
Just go to thegallery.com. That's TheGallery.com. So your walls will never be boring again.
Now let's start the show.
Ideals like peace, freedom, and justice, they get packed up, but we can all go home. Well, I'm not going home. I'm gonna get on my boat, and I'm going upriver, and I'm going to kick that son of a bitch bison's ass so hard that the next bison wannabe is gonna feel it. Now, who wants to go home, and who wants to go with me?
Welcome to the Rated G for Gamers podcast, episode 230. Before we start the show, we want to thank all of our wonderful fans who have supported us. And if you want to show support for Rated G, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/Rated G for Gamers. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Rated G for Gamers. And finally, please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. We appreciate all the love. I'm your host, Dave Rotino, and this is my co-host, Dan, the podcaster formerly known as Classic Robinson.
What's going on, man?
Dan, I've had a fantastic morning. Got up, had some coffee, was playing some video games, and I got a surprise delivery from the Finback Brewery. Big shout out to Finback. Big shout out to my brother. He got me a lovely beer selection from the amazing Finback Brewery, and
nice.
I am having a sour. Having a sour beer with a little bit of cherry in it. It is delicious. Drinking it in the Zelda mug that you got me, I think 2 Christmases ago.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Dude, this Stein is fantastic. Fit the whole entire beer in there, it's boom, chuck the can, like, good to go.
We should just start a beer podcast. That's it. We should just do beers and video games.
Beers and video games, there you go.
And keep doing a precisely crossover.
There you go.
Right,
see? Yeah, but this thing is epic. This thing is very delicious. So very happy about that. Thank you, Mark. Shout out to the big brother. He doesn't listen to the podcast, but if he does, there you go. giving you some props right now. All right. Very unexpected. Very delicious. Cheers to you.
Nice. Okay.
So yeah. And I have another bit of quick news. I was looking at YouTube yesterday, or I was watching YouTube yesterday, right? Because it's got a video component. And I was watching Did You Know Gaming, right? You know the channel, right?
Yeah.
And they had a thing on unreleased DS games. And they were like, yeah, there was about 50 or so DS games that never came to be, like at least 50 or so DS games that they like kind of knew about. And about halfway through, they mentioned this studio, Mezco Studios, and this game, Cerulean Dreams. And well, I'm not gonna dance around it anymore, but I did work with those guys way back in the day. And I did some artwork for not the Cerulean Dreams game, but they were doing an RPG first and foremost. And somehow, some way, a friend of my mom's at the library was like, "Oh, her son is trying to make video games, and you like video games, and you do art." I'm like, "Yeah." So I met with those guys, and we were kind of hanging out for a little bit, and I did some art and some pixel stuff and whatever. That game didn't go anywhere, obviously, and the shooter game, the one that they were showing in the episode, didn't go anywhere. But they did go to E3. They did have a booth. They did cut a pretty epic score, I believe, for the RPG game. So it was just kind of interesting. It was like, holy shit! Like, tangentially kind of secondhand related to a story on Did You Know Gaming. So.
You worked on a game before. You never told me that.
I did. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, there was also
even if it didn't come out, you still worked on it. I
a little bit.
Learning new things about you every day. Look at that.
Yeah, I mean, not enough.
Wait, how long ago was this?
Well, this was 2000. It was before I left the house. Before I left my parents' house, so like 2002, maybe 2003.
Oh,
it was all like GBA era stuff. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say. The lost art of meeting people at the library.
There you go. Exactly. I'm repping the whole family today.
As soon as you said, your mom met somebody at the library, I was just like, well, I mean, was this like in the 90s?
Yeah, pretty much.
Who meets people at the library anymore? Are libraries even still open? Are they still around? Come on.
The one in my neighborhood is. Yeah. Actually, both of the ones in my neighborhood are still open. Yeah, man, I mean, people go there to do, I don't know, something, but they're still there. They're still useful, I guess. Who knows?
One day we're just going to walk into a library and it's like, all right, you want to take out an iPad so you can read? Sure. Okay. Where's your card?
Wow. That would be a lot less space they need to take up with all their digital books as opposed to the physical ones.
Well, that's the thing. They'll have a lot more chairs and tables.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
There won't be any shelves.
Right. Oh man. So yeah, I had to get that out. I wanted to mention that. It felt pretty good. I was watching it just yesterday. I was flipping out. So
well, I've had a good weekend. Laid back, chilled. Nothing too extraneous.
Okay.
Just playing some games.
Yeah, as it is, the zombie apocalypse still going strong.
So Dave,
the 6th month in.
Dave, why don't we do this? Why don't we do it? It's episode 230. I think we should do it.
Are we gonna do it? We're gonna do it.
As we always try to start the show, but epically fail.
Oh.
What have you been playing?
Oh, we've come so close, Dan. We're less than 10 minutes into the show. We're getting there. Someday we're gonna be at the beginning and go, what have you been playing? Oh, I can get into it, Dan. So I have been playing the Last of Us 2. As you know, I am pretty close to the end. I know you said it takes about 25, 26 hours. I am at the 24-hour mark in my playthrough.
Somehow, I think you're playing it on normal or hard.
I played it straight down the middle so I could enjoy the story and get to the end.
Okay.
I didn't mess with any of the sliders, and I haven't had any like roadblocks. So I'll die from time to time, but I'll come right back and shoot.
You just have to find your way. Yeah. You just got to find your way around it.
Yeah, they're very generous with their checkpoints. I have to say,
yes,
which is nice, right? Even if you die without saving, or like you die in the middle of a firefight, like they'll like put you in like a safe spot during that firefight, and I'm like, wow, that's really cool. Like, it's nice. I'm sure if you put it on like super hard, it'll they would change that, but.
Well, I'm just saying, from the last time you told me where you were, because it sounded like you were like 10 hours left from the last time you told me.
I am going. I'll try and keep it as spoiler-free as possible. I'm going after Owen right now, trying to find Owen.
Oh, okay. I know what you're doing.
So I'm pretty close, I think, right?
You have another like 4 or 5 hours.
Do I? Oh, I'm gonna beat it today. I'm gonna make.
Yeah, no, you beat it today. Beat it today.
I'm gonna close out that chapter, because downstairs downstairs, Dan, I do have the Ghost of Tsushima that I need to pick up and play.
Yes.
So I'm just going to get right into it because you've been loving it. You've been loving it. You've been saying possibly game of the year. So
I love that game, and I even went back to it recently. I went back to it earlier today, this morning.
Wow, look at that!
You even put it in the show notes. I was playing it a little. I mean, I'm done with the story, and I think I did a lot of the main side stories. Mm-hmm. Maybe. It's weird because like if you don't unlock a lot of the map, then you can't see a lot of like the side stories. So you need to.
That makes sense. Yeah, you got to unlock the area to see where the possible side quest is. Yeah.
Because it's like one person told me to meet them somewhere, and I'm like, I don't see that on the map because usually you'll see like their head floating, and it's like, all right, so this is where I need to go because this is continuing that side story. And I'm like, I don't see their head floating anywhere on this map. That's because I probably haven't unlocked that part of the map yet.
Oh, well, that's really interesting because if somebody gave you that quest and they're like, go here, usually it's like fog of war, right? You haven't been there yet, or, you have to discover it, but you would see where the marker was. They don't even give you the marker. Huh.
Unless you've
uncovered
that. Unless you discovered that part of the map, and the only way to do that is like the time travel. I mean, not time travel.
Fast travel?
Sort of fast travel.
Yeah. Well, it's technically time traveling, right? You get there in 2 seconds as opposed to 2 minutes.
And then use your horse and just get through it. And I'm loving the game. I'm periodically just going back to it. I'm liking BioShock Infinite more and more. Somewhat. Been playing that on the Switch.
I'm telling you, man, it's good. It's good.
Again, the first 2 games sort of had a dark element to it.
It was very creepy. Yeah. You're down in the what's that place called?
Spooky.
The little utopia down there under the sea.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good with the sort of dark, spooky settings. Yeah, I'm good. Not for me.
Come on, you don't like when the splicers come out of the shadows and just start shambling over to you.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good up in the air. Nice sunlight, sunshine, and rain.
Yeah, it is super bright and beautiful up there. Yeah, Columbia is great.
That's what I'm into.
Okay.
And I've been playing Streets of Rage 4 on the PS4.
Oh my God! Finally getting into it.
Limited run set my copy. It's about time.
Nice. So, are you enjoying it? It's good. Right?
Oh, it's fantastic. Look, I made it to the last boss by myself, playing on normal, and I almost beat the last boss. It literally had like 1 or 2 hits left. And then I died.
Yeah,
so I came just that close to beating the game.
It is a very tough final battle, for sure. Well, that whole last level was tough, right?
I honestly, I thought the level prior to that was tougher, but no, the last level was tough. Yeah. But really enjoying the game. I'm enjoying it more than I thought I would, and it definitely has the throwbacks to the first 3 games.
Yeah, sure.
Especially when I hate it though that the boss gets to call in the squad and they shoot the missile.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, if you end up playing as the Streets of Rage 1 characters, they have that. That's their like special. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But they have all the same movesets from that game.
I got to go back and maybe I can use that.
Yeah. Have you gotten any of the special characters yet? The hidden guys?
Well, it's like after I beat like a certain boss, it's like, oh, now you got this guy. He can play with you. But I've just been sticking to the regular dude from the franchise. The regular guy. Oh, now he's a little bit older with a beard and a little rough.
Oh, Axel, yeah.
Up Diesel, the Axel. I've just been playing as Axel the whole time.
Cherry's my girl. Because she's got the dash.
I love Cherry. I love the new characters, and we played the new characters when we previewed the game at PAX.
Yeah. Well, Cherry's got the dash, and the dash, you zip around like crazy. So I'll like dash, I'll do the air attack, and then I'll knock him in the air and then hit him for the combo again, and then I'll run to the other side and get the other guy. Like, oh, it's so satisfying. So satisfying. Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
So I've been playing. It's been pretty much going back and forth between my PS4 and my Switch.
Nice.
So.
Okay.
All right, let's get into a couple of quick takes. In television, well, we had 4 new consoles coming out this year. Everyone keeps talking about the major 2, but we had 4 new consoles out.
That's right.
Okay. Xbox, the Xbox Series X. We had the PlayStation 5 with the Atari VCS, which most likely is going to get delayed. Let's be honest. It's probably going to get delayed.
I thought it was, honestly, because it's been pushed a couple times already.
Give it time. Give it time.
Give it time. I'm giving it a lot of time.
Give it time.
I don't think it's ever coming out.
Look, we still don't even know how much the PS5 and the Xbox Series X is, and it's over August.
This is true.
Give it time. And then we got the Television Amico, something that I was intrigued about. I was actually going to be an early adopter and buy it when it was originally slated to come out in October.
Really? Okay.
I was gonna pre-order it from GameStop. The same guys who are putting this out own Earthworm, the rights to Earthworm Jim. They're gonna put out Earthworm Jim 4 at some point in the future.
Sure.
On this.
Well, it's Tommy Tallarico. He's the brains behind it. Who was the musical composer for Earthworm Jim and a ton of other games. Like he's got a pedigree.
Well, when you're talking about pedigree, you're gonna talk about he's like in the record books for doing the music. He's worked on more games than anybody else in history. Like he's done the music for like so many different games in the last like 30 years.
Yeah,
20,
it's crazy.
25 years, something like that. Yeah, he's the president of Intellivision.
Right.
So due to the pandemic, we thought maybe the PS5 and Xbox Series X would get delayed. Those guys are major billion-dollar companies, so of course they could put in more money to get everything done and shipped out.
Well, they say the pandemic isn't gonna stop production. They're not gonna have less units. They're gonna have more than enough units.
Well, that's because they're billion-dollar companies. Television.
Well, even still, like look at when the PlayStation 2 came out, right? Couldn't get it anywhere, right? If you pre-ordered it, you could get it. Otherwise, probably not going to get it for Christmas. And then they had a hard time building up supply because demand was so great, and eventually by early that next year, early 2001, they were starting to meet demand again. But it's tough.
But you're talking about something where they didn't expect to sell out and didn't expect, just like the Wii, they didn't expect to sell out.
I don't think that's it at all. I don't think they could produce them quickly enough in good quality quality standards, right? Because they have to be in good working order, and some of them had some issues, but
they still are on they've known for a long time this is the date that we're going to ship, so we're going to have this many units at launch. They've known that for a long time. We're in a pandemic where people can't go to work, especially overseas where these things are getting shipped early on. So these are billion-dollar companies that can shift shift manufacturers from one country to another. So, we thought the pandemic would slow it down, but both companies have said they're slated to, stay on track for a good release date in the holiday.
We'll see. I'm still a little skeptical, to be honest.
I'm not skeptical at all. It's coming out. Unlike the Intellivision, which isn't a billion-dollar company, who is pushing it back and delaying it, not October 2020. It's supposed to come out now in April 2021.
Yeah. So if you want my opinion on the whole situation, honestly, I think this is a good thing for Intellivision and Tommy and crew. And I was just watching the immortal John Hancock, and he was talking about he was all hyped for it and this and that, and he even said this is good because you can't put a small-time console manufacturer up against the big boys during the holiday season and expect to compete. And nor do they want to get in and compete on a graphical level. They want to be like the Nintendo they want to here's a fun little, quirky thing that you can get as well as your PS5 or Xbox. But I think people are only going to choose one. And if they had to choose between an Xbox and an Amico, I think people were going to go Xbox, right? So if you get it out of the holiday window, right, in a time where all right, I'm not gearing up to buy anything big or waiting for a Christmas gift and I only get one thing and I'm going to choose this.
I disagree. I disagree.
For
me, I disagree. I say one, I've already committed to spending $1,000 a piece, most likely, on an Xbox system and peripherals and games, and the PS and the PlayStation system, peripheral and games.
Right.
If this is coming out in October, and by all accounts, if we're talking about what happened on the last generation when both consoles came out in November, I will be willing to spend, especially if it was early October, I was willing to spend the drop $250 on something to maybe hold me over into the new systems come in November. But now that's coming out in April. I've already spent $2,000 on these big systems, and we're probably gonna have a lot of games coming out early next year. Right? I mean, we already got Hitman, I think Resident Evil, and it's going to keep going and going, and whatever gets delayed out of the holidays is going to probably get pushed until Christmas too. I'm gonna be more inclined, and especially if there's going to be the game's going to be $70, I'm going to be more inclined to spend more money on games than I am to buy this. Also, I think I feel you as far as competing with the big boys. However, I think they could have got some cheap buys by some parents who know the Intellivision from their childhood and said, you know what? I'm not going to buy it. I'm going to spend $500 on little Tommy for Christmas on this Xbox thing. This thing is expensive. I'm gonna get him this. I had an Intellivision when I was a kid. Now don't get me wrong. This kid's gonna be very disappointed.
Yeah, why would you do that? I was just gonna say that kid's gonna be upset.
That kid is going to be very disappointed.
Yeah, you were not, as a parent, you were not going to have a good Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa, right? Kid's going to be mad.
He's going to be pissed.
Come on now. He wants the Sony. He wants the PlayStation. He wants the new hotness. You got to come through on that.
You want to I had a friend who thought he was going to get a Game Boy because he wanted to get a handheld console. He just wanted a handheld. He kept telling his parents he wants a handheld console, and he kept saying Game Boy, Game Boy, Game Boy, Game Boy, Game Boy, or Game Gear, He was willing to sell for Game Gear.
Okay.
They got him two electronic, Tiger electronic handhelds. They said, the Game Boy was just too expensive. We didn't want to buy it for you. The Game Gear was too expensive, and we have to buy a game with it. It was just too expensive. So we got these Tiger electronic handhelds.
I mean, I get it. I get it from an affordability standpoint. These new systems are going to be like crazy, crazy expensive. But I mean, what I would do if I was a parent, I would just go, okay, look, I'm not going to get you the Xbox Series X, but I'll get you the Xbox One X for like $300 or $250 or whatever it goes down to, and all the games will be forward compatible when, next year maybe I'll buy you a Series X and you don't have to rebuy anything.
But you sound like a parent. You sound like a parent that's in the know. You sound like a parent that's in the know.
I mean, you have to be in the know.
A lot of parents aren't in the know. They don't.
You got to put the work in, right?
Just like my friend's parents who brought them Tiger electronic games.
Nah, you can't do that.
They weren't in the know.
Those parents are sleeping.
All they know is it's a handheld. He said he wants a handheld, and it's cheap.
No, I will do the work, and if my kid wants a thing, and my kid's been good and whatever, and I have the money, I'm gonna get my kid that thing. I'm gonna make it happen. I'm gonna get him the toy from Jingle All the Way, whatever that robot toy was. I'm gonna get him the Cabbage Patch Kid if he wants the Cabbage Patch Kid.
You're gonna give him the Elmo, the Tickle Me Elmo.
I'm gonna get him the Tickle Me Elmo. All right, I'm gonna get him what he wants because that's what he wants. I'm gonna do the research. That's what being a parent is. All right, that's what part of being a parent is.
I would say take a survey on that. I'm sure my parents are just like, listen, you're fed, clothed, and you living a good life. You're good, all right?
Such a low bar. But all right.
My parents. I told the story. It just so happens my father said because it was like 200 plus, he just had to ask me which one.
Sure.
It was, do you want a Saturn or do you want a PlayStation?
Sure, and that makes sense. That makes sense.
And I almost got a Saturn, but my friend got a Saturn. So I said, then I was like, all right, I'll get a PlayStation. So we can, he'll have Saturn games, I'll have PlayStation games, and then we can play both. I could bring mine over, he can bring his over.
Smart move.
It didn't work out like that, but that was what I was thinking when I was a kid, back in '95.
Right.
But my parents definitely, I don't want to throw my parents under the bus. They definitely weren't in the know and got me some things that were very questionable.
Well, trust me, same with my parents. I got a Tamagotchi on my like 16th, 17th birthday. I'm like, I don't know what this is. I don't want this.
No, listen, you want to talk about disappointment? My aunt, okay, I was a big Ninja Turtle fan. My aunt's like, yo, I got you Ninja Turtles for your birthday. I was like, oh yeah, in my mind, I'm like, what type of Ninja Turtles she got? She's like, I got the 4 turtles. I was like, yes, I want it was like the party version, the sports version. You know what version turtle she got me for my birthday?
I don't know.
The 99-cent store turtles.
Oh, the knockoffs. The knockoffs.
So yes, some parents or aunts are they're not in the know, and they're gonna say, "I got you a new console. You wanted a new you wanted to play games, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, trust me. But I
got you the Intellivision. I got you the Intellivision. Or worse, they could do worse than that. I got you the Atari VCS.
Oh my God. Well, if it ever comes out, that's still a big question. Oh man.
But before we take a break, you want to talk about console selling? Just got to give a big congratulations to Nintendo. It looks like the Switch is selling like hotcakes. I know that's not really news, but
yeah, right.
They've
sold out for the longest. You couldn't get them.
Yeah, but they sold over 61 million units. They beat out the SNES and just slightly beat out the NES. And as far as home consoles go for Nintendo, that is, because they're nowhere near the PlayStation 2. They're about 40 million away from the Wii.
They're gonna get there. They're gonna get there. By the end, they're gonna be right up there with the PS2.
I would say the Switch will be the second highest console of all time. I don't think it'll beat the PS2, but I think if anything can come close, especially if they support it for another 5 years. I think this can get close, but I think this will be the second best console of all time, selling console of all time.
All right, we'll see. Because I mean, like the Nintendo DS and the PS2 are only like 8-9 million between them, I think. Which seems like a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, that's like 150 some odd versus 150 some odd for the DS. They're pretty close. All right. Top 5 definitely. Top 5 definitely. Switch is going to be in the top 5.
All right, so why don't we take a break and we come back? We get into the top gaming news of last week.
This is Justin from the Lit Gaming Arena podcast, and you're listening to Rated G for Gamers.
And we're back. Let's get into the top gaming news of last week. We have to start with the Sony State of Play. We got it. It was released. They did say tempered expectations. They said this is more so update to PS4 and the PSVR with a little bit of sprinkle of PS5 games.
Yeah.
So, don't expect a new God of War or, the next Horizon game or anything.
I would have been very surprised if they had something big in here.
Yeah. So I don't want to go through every game they showed, but let's just go through some of the highlights. They start off with Crash Bandicoot 4, with the new mode, playable characters, because you can, now play as a female character. And it just, I was really digging the Crash Bandicoot 4. I know you're not a real Crash fan, but seeing the gameplay and knowing they have different modes and it's the stories literally continuing from the original trilogy on the original PlayStation, I was really digging this. I'm down. I'm all in on Crash Bandicoot 4.
So far, everything you said is fantastic. But as soon as you get to the gameplay, it's like, it's classic gameplay, and I'm out. I wasn't really...
You're like, you know what? I really like everything you said until you said it was Crash Bandicoot.
Exactly. I mean, look. I love the mascot. I love the humor. The art style has always been good. They always push the graphical boundaries.
They're doing that here in a way, looks like some really cool stuff. But yeah, as soon as you get to, well, it's Crash Bandicoot and it's the same old gameplay. It's like I know it's going to be updated for the PS4 and, but it looks exactly the same. It's, moving into the foreground and the background, the side-scrolling bits, breaking up boxes. It's cool. No hate.
Well, the two things that stuck out to me were the first level. Well, I think looks like it's the first level which was the first level of the original game.
Yeah,
it looks exactly the same, just like up to date, like Resident Evil 2 remake, right? They sort of remade. I mean, this game is made from the ground up, obviously, but they remade the first level and it looks super familiar.
Yeah, it has a lot of good nods to like the old style stuff. So I mean, that I can get behind. Yeah.
And then as you progress in the game, the platforming will get increasingly difficult.
Yep.
They made sure to mention that.
Yep.
So I am so looking forward to playing this game.
Yeah, nice.
Something that really caught my eye, I was really interested in, just another game, or I should say a trilogy of games, to get me to dust off my PSVR, which has that old dust. Something that's been sitting around for so long, it has dust on top of dust.
Oh yeah, I'm aware. My Wii U, cough cough.
So you can play the Hitman trilogy, okay, all in VR. Mm-hmm. That is awesome.
It is. Although in the back of my head, I was a little like, is this right? Because they had the little garrote or the piano wire, right? And it was like him or you playing as Agent 47, going up and choking the guy out with the piano wire. I was like, that's awesome, and also like a little scary at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
Why? You don't want to be a murderer?
It's legit putting you in the shoes of the killer. Like you are doing the action with, I'm assuming, the Wiimotes or maybe like a controller button press. It's just, it's a little bit out of, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, given everything that's going on right now. It feels a little weird.
For it. I'm all for it. I mean, this is...
Oh, it looks super fun, and I'm going to get it. Don't get me wrong.
They're making the first two games playable in VR.
Completely in VR, yeah. Oh, it's going to be great.
And then the third game that's coming out in January will be in VR. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah. I wonder if it's just going to be like a straight $60 or... they're going to go with like 120 or something for the trilogy. Because how good would that be? How good would that be with the $60 value?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know, because the first... I mean, obviously, the third one's coming out in January, so that's going to be 60 or 70. We don't know what the price is, but that's going to be $60, $70. And if you already have the first two games for the PlayStation, you can play it in VR.
They just give you the update, yeah.
They just give an update, or will they put out? I think what is going to happen is if you have the first two, it'll be playable in VR. The third one's going to come out, and then at a later point in 2021, they'll put out the trilogy.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right.
So, I'm all for it, and this gives you, and we'll talk about the reason, games giving you a reason to play on PlayStation systems. But this gives you a reason, if I'm going to play it on the Xbox and, it'll probably have its best, it'll look the best on the most powerful console, right? Or if you want to play it in VR.
Right. You can get that unique experience.
Or if it ever comes out on the Switch, you can play it on the go.
Play it on the go. Yeah.
So they cater to all audiences.
There you go. God, imagine playing it on the Switch with like the motion controls.
Oh yeah.
And you're just sitting there out in public. It's like, come on, just die, just die. Yeah.
I don't think they'll do that though.
I mean, look. I've been known to get vocal every now and again playing video games. Sometimes I forget where I am.
Yeah, just imagine you have the Joy-Cons detached and you're playing a Switch on a bench and someone just sees you cock a gun.
Yeah, right.
Pack a gun.
Right? They hear the noise. They hear they see the motion. Oh shit! What's going down?
Yeah, you look crazy.
Oh my god. Oh.
Well, the next game, the game that we actually saw at PAX, you were really into this. I don't think I was all about this game, and that's Pathless.
Well, our friend Steven was like pretty hype on it, and he was kind of raving about it. And then when I saw it in the state of play, I was like, oh, here it is, and it's essentially a think kind of like flower maybe, if you remember that game from the like PS3 where like you're kind of constantly moving and like picking up stuff, and it's very kind of low pressure. This game has a lot more pressure because you're trying to maintain combos to maintain speed, but essentially you're running through the forest and you're like a ninja with a bow, and you have to hit the targets to kind of give yourself speed boosts, and you can do tricks and whatever to like maintain your speed boost and your combo. Yeah, it looked like super cool. I'm happy to see it. I think it's coming out pretty soon, so pretty hype.
Okay. And then I was hyped for Braid, the Anniversary Edition.
Yeah. Did you know it was Braid when they were doing the intro?
No. Okay. I had no idea this was Braid. Mm-hmm. I remember Braid. I never got a chance to play Braid. I remember it from back in the day, and I always wanted to get a chance to play it. It never had a physical edition.
No.
So I sort of just forgot about it. Mm-hmm. And then I didn't even realize this was Braid.
Oh yeah, it's a trip, man. It's a trip.
I wonder if we're going to get a physical edition, or this is just going to be a download.
You know what? If anyone's going to do it, it's going to be limited run.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think they would too. Right. And they may even do a special edition with a little like hourglass, right?
Yeah,
that'd be crazy, and it would sell out in like seconds.
It would.
So
it would.
I have good hopes for a physical to come out. Braid is great. Whenever it comes out, you get around to playing it, you're gonna have a good time with
it. You know what? Now that you mention it, definitely limited run. This is a limited run game that they're gonna announce at their next E3 showing.
Right.
Next year. All right. We have a little game that you probably heard of, and it's gonna be like a Braid special edition. It's gonna be out for okay.
And everyone is just gonna flip out. Yeah.
Everyone's going to buy the Switch edition, and I'm going to buy the PS4 edition because that's going to be the only one that's not sold out.
Right. That's how it goes.
Another game that I was like, oh yeah, I'm all in, and I got the first one on limited run for the Vita, and that's Spelunky. They announced Spelunky 2, and it's coming out September 15th.
Yep. I mean, this has definitely been in the works for a while, but it looks good. It looks just like the original with a fresh coat of paint. Not that that's a bad thing, right?
It's not a bad thing. It was hard for me to get into Braid. Into the original Spelunky. I played it. I played it for a good amount of time. It just, those randomly generated levels.
The roguelikes, huh?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of roguelike games. I like memorization, personally. So
Sure. Yeah, this game has none of that. You kind of just have to learn the skills and, learn where the traps possibly are going to be, and best way to outfit yourself in the shop. Yeah, it's a tough game. It was a tough game. I never got past the first area.
This was like one of my last Vita games I bought off a limited run, and I had to buy the special edition because the regular one was just sold out. So I had to buy the big head. It comes like in this big,
Oh yeah,
head.
It's like a big Incan stone head or gold head. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. It comes with like an art book and all that stuff. I'm not downplaying it at all. I didn't expect to pay all that money for that. But if I wanted the Vita version, I wanted the Vita physical version, I had to get the special.
Nice.
Another reason I can dust off my PSVR, they had Vader Immortal. It's basically you play as Darth Vader and you get into lightsaber battles.
Yeah, I mean, it looked cool. It looked super cool. Hopefully it's the better version of Kinect Star Wars. Because that thing was trash.
All right, so the next game is something I think they should have ended the presentation with. Sort of like, mic drop moment that would have got everybody talking.
Right.
It's not so much the one more thing, because this wasn't a press conference where you would have one more thing.
Right.
But something that you would end it on like, oh shit, right? And that's Control. DLC expansion. Yeah. They showed new DLC for Control. Great game, definitely. It was won IGN's Game of the Year last year. And I know we nominated for Game of the Year.
Yeah, it was a great game. But
they had Alan Wake in it, so he's going to be in Control. And then Remedy sort of teased that maybe the games they've made are in the same universe. Wink, wink.
Which is crazy, which is crazy. Like I'm always a big fan of the crossovers, right? When you try and kind of link things together and build like a unique world, and you have this like cameo, but it's in the same universe. Like if they set up the narrative and the story right, this could be amazing. This could be amazing.
It should have been the mic drop.
Yeah. I mean, nobody was expecting an Alan Wake DLC for Control. You know, if you go to like the Vegas odds books, that's like 1,000,000 to 1 that would be a thing.
I think, like I gotta listen, Sony, Microsoft, just hire me to be a consultant.
Come
on your state of plays, your inside Xbox, showcases. Just hire me as a consultant. I will help you get squeeze the best out of what you have.
Listen, he'll make your product better. All right, that's what Dan does.
Your product better. Because they didn't end it with this. We still had games to talk about when we got The Pedestrian, a game that I wasn't big on. It wasn't something that I was super big on, but I mean, you love puzzle games.
Well, it was probably one of the most original titles I'm saying it now. It was definitely the most original looking title in terms of the gameplay and the art style. You basically play as the female person from a bathroom sign who jumps through various things on the walls. Right? There's like levels where you're in like a doctor's office and there's like a cork board and there's different things on the cork board and you have to like move them around and connect them in a way to get your character to the end. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. And there was one where you're out at like a construction site and there's like, diagrams that are clamped to some of the little like caution barriers, and you kind of have to move things around and connect them up. And I'm like, okay, I'm excited. I never heard of this game before. I don't necessarily know the company who's making it, but you sold me on the trailer. So kudos to you guys. So yeah, I don't know.
And then they ended it with extended gameplay of Godfall.
Right. The game that was teased at the Game Awards, right, last year.
Yeah.
Well,
here's my thing. I'm not down on Godfall by any means, but I'm not like super high on it. Like, this isn't my most anticipated PS5 game or anything like that. However, this extended gameplay we shared during the PS5 press conference back in July, right? Or June, July, whatever.
Yeah, I think it was June. Yeah,
it was June, right? That's when we should have got this. This shouldn't have been here. It just sort of seemed out of place. I think. All right, but now that you have it here, if that's the case, put it right at, put it first, get it out the way, right? I think you get all the PS5 games out the way, then talk about the PS4, PSVR, and then end it with Control. That's what I would have done.
Interesting. I don't know. It looked like pretty cool. I mean, granted, it is a new IP, and it is a PS5 exclusive, so it does have that going for it. It's got the next gen visuals. It's a little looter based, like kind of like a Diablo clone, right? You're gonna get better and better armor. I was like kind of hype on it, third person action game. You really kind of have to time and space yourself out when you're fighting enemies. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously, anything to make your E3 style conference better would be the way to go, right? If you got a game that's got like in-depth gameplay, right, with like developer narration over the top, that's it's pretty damn good. It's exactly what people want to see. Like, what am I going to get with my PS5? I was like, well, here's one game that we know is coming out, and it's coming out either at launch or right around launch. So you have at least one game you can get hyped for. So yeah.
Well, speaking of the PlayStation 5, on the PlayStation blog, they had sort of a Q&A regarding peripherals and accessories being compatible, PS4 peripherals and accessories being compatible with the PS5. And I think the biggest thing we took out of this was the DualShock 4. Will it work with PS5 games? And the answer is no.
Yep.
So every game that's a PlayStation 5 exclusive game will only work with the DualSense.
Right.
You cannot use your DualShock 4.
Right. Which is to me, I don't know about you, but to me it wasn't a surprise. Like, I was like, yeah, like they never said anything to the contrary, They never said that the PS4 controllers would work with PS5 games. They did say they would be compatible with the system because you can play PS4 games, the top, 100 or whatever it is games that they're going to make those compatible and possibly more along the way, which is, great. But it wasn't.
The latest, just not to cut you off, but the latest rumor is that all, the rumor that's really heated up from different sources, different people, is that all PS4 games, even if they're untested, will work on the PS5.
That's a pretty bold claim. I hope they can make it happen, because I would rather just have one system as opposed to like the PS4 and the PS5, just so I can play like these handful of games. If that's the case, that's fantastic. Yeah. Good to know the PS4 stuff works. Sad to know that it won't be compatible, and I wonder why. I wonder what.
Well, the statement is the PS5, the DualSense. These games are being made compatible with to use all the bells and whistles of the DualSense, and you won't get the same experience using a DualShock 4.
Sure, I mean I get that, but I mean all the buttons are still there. You won't get like the feedback on the bow, or when you go off the road, you won't get like the rumble and all that. But
that's not how they want you to play the game.
I'm aware, but like for all my other friends, they can have the PS4 controllers, right? Give me that option. I'll take the good one.
So you can get that haptic feedback.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. Right. I can know when they're coming around the corner. I need to have that advantage.
And then people wanted to know about the PlayStation camera for the PS4. Can you use that in the PS5? And the answer is yes, with like a special adapter, just like the adapter we had for the Kinect. Because the Xbox One S didn't have that connection for the Kinect.
Right. So they had that little USB adapter. Yeah. And you were actually. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying, I was an early adopter. I got in and I got it for free, which is now like $200-$300 at this point.
Yeah, it is. It's expensive, man. I have a Kinect that does absolutely nothing right now. It's terrible.
But you will be able to get an adapter for it for free. They're going to announce that at a later date. Right. Well, they didn't say it was for free, but all the rumors are that it's for free.
Right. So like they'll probably do what they did with the S, where there's a little form and you go online and you mail away for it. And then they'll just send you one, and then you get it, right, for anyone who needs it, right? Because I don't think everybody has the camera, so they're not just going to pack it in, right? So they give you a little, like, voucher code.
I mean, you can buy a PlayStation 5 camera, right? I mean, they showed it when they unveiled the PS5. They had the camera, the Sense, the dock. But it's really for PSVR, to be honest.
That's exactly right, yeah. Unless you want to log in with your head.
If you already have a PSVR and Move controllers, which is still sad that you're using a peripheral from the PS3 era.
The PS3 era, right? They're really milking it for all it's worth.
You can use it. You can still use it on the PS5.
Right.
All right, let's stick with PlayStation and PlayStation exclusive, or in this case, exclusive characters. It was announced that Marvel's Avengers will be adding 2 new characters. Hawkeye, who got sort of lost in the shuffle, right? Yeah. Because they announced him, but they also announced Spider-Man. Yeah, but Spider-Man is going to be exclusive to PS4.
Oof. So. Yeah. It's a bit of a sting.
Well, I was always going to buy this for the PlayStation, only because this was Cyberpunk was going to come out a week apart, right? So I had made up my mind I was going to get Cyberpunk on the Xbox One X.
Okay.
So I was like, well, if that's the case, then I'll just get the Avengers on the PS4. So this just makes me happy that I made this decision mentally, because I didn't pre-order it yet. That I'm going to get it on the PlayStation because I'm going to get to play Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean, why not? If it has the extra value and all the extra characters, like, I'm also going to get the PlayStation version. Why not? Well,
let me ask you a question. Are you getting a PlayStation version because of Spider-Man, or are you getting a PlayStation version because you were always going to get it?
Because of Spider-Man. It's 100% because of Spider-Man. I kind of generally just gravitate towards the Xbox, because after, like, the PS2, I moved to the 360. I didn't get the systems like right away. I got them after the fact, and everyone was playing Halo. So I kind of like moved over to the Xbox camp for a little while, right? And I missed out on the PS3, and I didn't get the PS4 when it launched. I did get the Xbox One when it launched. So it's just kind of, in general, I usually gravitate and get the games for that system, unless there's a benefit on the PlayStation, right? And in this case, there's Spider-Man. You know, if they had VR support, I would get it for the PlayStation.
Wouldn't that be awesome if they had, like, not only you could play Spider-Man exclusively,
you can play it in VR,
but you can play it in VR.
Sure.
You can be Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Definitely.
Look. Just to be clear, Sony does not own the video game rights to Spider-Man. They only own the movie rights to Spider-Man.
That's right.
But they did make a deal that, you know, their first-party studio will make Spider-Man games only for PlayStation consoles. Hence, we got Marvel Spider-Man, and we're getting Miles Morales coming out this fall for the PS5.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people are pretty upset about this. Well, Xbox people are pretty upset about this. I know Phil Spencer said he didn't like to do these deals in the past. They did do the Tomb Raider deal that didn't work out so well, but they did this throughout the whole Xbox 360 life cycle, right? Of having exclusive content for 360 users.
Sure. Well, Phil wasn't at the helm at that point.
He wasn't. He was there, but he wasn't at the helm. Yeah. So
Right.
Don't know how he felt then when he was, you know, sort of Xbox was like in the lead and had all these exclusive deals. But I digress. I don't see a big problem with this. I wouldn't be mad if they said that Spider-Man was exclusive to PlayStation and like Punisher was exclusive to Xbox.
Right, but there is no Xbox exclusive at this point, right? So there's no equivalent on the other side to say like, well, you guys get this and we get this. So
well, people would be mad anyway because they're gonna like, well, Punisher ain't Spider-Man.
No,
right?
I mean the Punisher's badass. Like I would be okay if there was like an equivalent, right? Whether you like the character or not is subjective, I guess. But you know, the fact that we get like you know, we talked about it before the show a little bit. Like they did it with Soul Calibur, right? Soul Calibur 2 and 4 specifically had unique characters for each console, so you weren't necessarily missing out.
Well, the difference was the Soul Calibur 2 had, you know, one special character for the GameCube, PS2, and Xbox. Mm-hmm. But when Soul Calibur 4, you get one Star Wars character on the PlayStation 3 and you get one Star Wars character on the Xbox 360. However, you could buy that other character that you don't have, you can buy it as DLC. So you could technically get all the characters. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right? So, and that's a little bit different where there's no way for an Xbox user to get Spider-Man.
Right, it's going to be I mean, as far as we know, it's going to be locked. Yeah,
unless it's a timed exclusive, which I think I personally think it would be a timed exclusive. Mm-hmm. But I feel it sucks for people who love Spider-Man who pre-ordered it for the Xbox. Right, where it's like they would have pre-ordered it for the PlayStation if they would have known ahead of time.
If they only knew, right? Well, why would you? If you had both systems, why would you not get the one with more characters?
Well, I would say this. I think the timing of this is bad. Right,
Mm-hmm.
It's something that should have been, you know, you say it during the holidays or, you know, after the holidays, because this is a games of service. This is going to be going on for like Destiny, right? Sort of, where it's like, hey, guess what, guys? We have 10 new characters, and this one character is just going to be exclusive to PlayStation. That sort of softens the blow a little bit, right? Where it's like, hey, you got all these new characters that you can play as. It's just that you can't play as this one.
Right.
But I still feel bad for Hawkeye.
Well, everyone feels bad for Hawkeye.
He got lost in the shuffle.
He had to fight for that spot in the last Avengers movie.
Yeah, he did. He did. All right, let's shift gears from Marvel to DC. Rocksteady has finally announced it. Well, sort of in a teaser. That
we're getting a new Batman game?
No. Well, we are, just not from Rocksteady.
Oh.
We're going to get the worst kept secret in the world. We're getting a Suicide Squad game from Rocksteady. They teased it. They will announce it August 22nd.
Right. That, wow. Very interesting. Very interesting.
You don't sound so excited. The place and the teaser is super cool because it's like a silhouette of Superman with like a bullseye on his head.
I mean, sure, like Suicide Squad is cool and in the comics and in concept, but you do remember the movie, right? It left a bad taste in everyone's mouth.
I think you need to let go of the movie.
I have no hate It just wasn't good. I'm just saying from like a fan fervor standpoint, fan enthusiasm, people are not high on the Suicide Squad property, right? It helps that Rocksteady, the maker of the good Batman games, is behind it, right? They have a good pedigree. So I'm excited, but I'm cautiously excited because...
Well, let me ask you a question. If they were... Because it's been rumored for a long time this was either going to be a Justice League game or a Suicide Squad game.
Mm-hmm.
And I theorize, and this is all speculation, I think that DC wanted to really play up Suicide Squad, right? And they had the movie, and they said, all right, let's start on a game, make the game, and by the time the game is ready to ship in a couple of years, we'll probably have the sequel ready, right? Suicide Squad 2. Right?
So it kind of ties in, yeah.
It may not tie in directly, right? Because the Batman Arkham games didn't tie into the movies, but it was still a Batman game that was awesome, right? And if it's just an awesome game, it doesn't need to tie in. It's just name recognition of Batman. So
Right.
I think they had the same idea here. It just so happens that the Suicide Squad movie sucked. And it was like, well, what do we do now? Well, we already started the game, and the game's good, so let's keep going.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I'm sure they tried to coordinate stuff. You always want to get the cross promotion, the tie-ins, the whatever, right? DCU needs all the help it can get, so I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it.
You don't
I'm sure it
sound
was
so
work behind the
excited.
scenes.
You don't sound super excited. We've been waiting for the longest to hear what Rocksteady's been working on.
I know. Look. It's Rocksteady, so I will give them the benefit of the doubt, but still cautiously optimistic, given the track record of Suicide Squad in present day media.
Well, I want to know. Here's the biggest question I want to know. I want to know: is it tied into the Batman game somehow? Right? Like, spoilers if you haven't played, the Arkham games.
Well, which one are you going to spoil for me? Because I'm only on City.
You still didn't get to. You still
All
didn't
right.
get to Arkham Knight.
Moving on. Dan loves to spoil stuff for people. All right?
This game has been out for like 7 years. No. This game.
Arkham Knight? No.
Yeah.
Arkham Knight hasn't.
6 years.
And you're going to spoil Arkham Knight. No.
The game is 6 years old.
No, it's not. Arkham Knight came out in like 2016. Get out of here.
It came out in 2014.
No, it didn't. That's when the system launched. Didn't come out.
No, the system launched in 2013.
At the end of the year, which was essentially 2014. It came
No,
out in the
no.
holiday season.
No.
Batman did not come out in 2014.
All right, so it's 5 years old. It came out in 2015.
Maybe it did.
I
Maybe
just looked
it
it up.
did.
June. It came out in June of 2015.
Okay, still, it's only a 5 year old
5 years old. 5
All right,
years.
go ahead. Spoil the game. You really want to talk about it? Go ahead.
You wanted to spoil The Last of Us, which was 7 years old, which was 2 years older than Batman.
Well, we
Get out of
both
here.
played it, and we also put a little spoiler alert, and we said, "Hey, skip ahead like 30 seconds or whatever."
Beat it already. I thought you beat it already.
Arkham Knight? No, I'm still on City, man.
Oh my god!
Come on now. It took me 4 years to beat the first one. What do you think it's going to take me? Like half that time to beat the second one? I'm playing on hard. I'm doing it wrong yet again.
We're gonna be on PS6 by the time we beat Arkham Knight.
You're probably right. But I'll get there.
Okay. I'm not gonna spoil it for you. I'm not gonna spoil it.
Okay.
I just want to know: is it in the same universe?
Mm-hmm.
That's all I want to know.
I think it should be.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Is it in the same universe? Knowing that we are slated to get another Batman game from WB Games, right?
Well, I mean,
Is that Batman game? Is that Batman game in the same universe? Right?
Was Batman Origins in the same universe? Because I think so.
It was the origin. It was the origin story. So,
but is it in the same universe? And the answer is yes, right?
I think so. Yeah. I think it is.
And that game was made by WB, so we'll see.
What if this game is a direct sequel to Origins? Right. So it's still a prequel to Asylum.
Right. It could be. I mean, I wonder how they're going to. Because you're playing as villains, right? How do you play as villains? Like, who is your enemy going to be? It's going to be the good guys, right?
It's going to be, well, by all accounts, it's going to be Superman.
You can't kill Superman. You can't.
Well, maybe this leads up to the death of Superman game.
Oh my God! Back from the 1990s. Oh
yeah,
that is the ultimate tie-in right there.
Well, I'll give you a little side note. I just bought it for the Super Nintendo.
Oh, well, I knew there was a reason you were bringing it up.
I just bought it for the Super Nintendo.
The game is pretty solid, I think. Pretty solid. Nice little beat 'em up.
All I'm saying is it would be cool if it was all like wrapped up into like this is the same universe.
Sure, 100%. Just like that Alan Wake crossover, right? It's like, oh shit, it all ties together.
It all ties together. All right, let's shift gears. Let's talk about Xbox, and let's talk about their live services. And you want to talk about all tying together nicely. We talked about them ending the Xbox Live Gold 12-month subscription, right? They took that down, and you can only if you want gold, you can only do a monthly or 3 months at a time.
Which is it's still weird, but okay.
There were rumblings that they're going to end the whole sort of gold, right, and just go straight all Games Pass and free to play multiplayer.
Right.
They asked Xbox, they asked Microsoft this, and Microsoft said they had no plans to end Xbox Live Gold services. This is still going to be a thing. They're still dedicated to it. They're just working on things. They have nothing to say at this point, but they're not ending the service. And I still think I'm right. I think they're trying to get people like me to join Games Pass because that's who they want. They want people like me, right? So I think they're going to say, hey, if you want gold, you have to get pay a monthly service or play, every 3 months, or you can get the 12-month, but it's a bundle with Games Pass for like $120.
Right. I mean, it's
that'd be the only way I'll do it.
Well, if that's because Games Pass, let's do the math. If Games Pass is $15 a month, right? You spread that over 12 months, right? That's like $180 right there.
No,
Xbox.
Games Pass is $10 a month.
Okay, $10 a month. So that's $120 per year, plus the Xbox Live, which is $60, right, for the year,
which is $180
membership, which is $180, right? It's $180 total. That's if you're saying like that's $120, you're basically getting Xbox Live Gold for free. So you're getting the online for free in that case. If they're gonna do that. So I think what you're saying is true. I just don't think it's going to be that big of a discount. And I think what you're saying is true too, because they want everyone to move to the digital, right? They want to get rid of the physical, and they're like, look, here's a way to do it. Here's a a la carte, or here's like a group offering of all these amazing games. You can just pay a low fee per month, and you get access to all this stuff. Like, people are going to jump on board.
Yeah, but this is what I would do, right? I'm playing Halo, right? Because I have Games Pass, so I don't need to buy the physical right away. I'll buy the physical when GameStop, if GameStop's still around, when it's on clearance for $20, and keep it sealed and never open it because I never need to open it. I'm buying it because I'm a collector, and I always have the physical edition.
That's not bad. That's not bad. That's not bad. And
that's what would happen, though. That's exactly what would happen.
Sure, you don't need to open the game if you can play it, right? Might as well keep it sealed because you want it. You want to have the copy.
Just like a bunch of the Switch games from Limited Run, right? They gave you the code for the game. Carry On. They gave me the code for Carry On, which I haven't redeemed yet. I have to redeem and play. And when I actually do get Carry On, I'm not going to open it because I already have the game.
Well, I mean, they're doing that. They're doing that for all their games now because of the whole zombie apocalypse going on. They can't get the games out quick enough. So, as like a consolation, they're like, we know you want to play it. We know it's going to be delayed, and then here you go. Like, I got one for Command and Conquer, right? We got one for Carry On. So,
I didn't get it.
I like that they're doing
Rage or Panzer or not Panzer Dragoon. Panzer Dragoon. I didn't get one for any of those games.
Maybe that was pre zombie apocalypse. I don't know.
No, that was in April. I bought it in April.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe
it wasn't for all games.
Yeah, maybe they can't get codes for all games. I just thought it was a nice thing that they were doing. They're like, look, we know it's kind of shitty, but here's like a code. So maybe they're working with the developers and they're like, all right, we're going to go ahead and give you a bunch of free codes to kind of work that out. Who knows?
All right, let's stick with Microsoft and let's still talk about their services. And we have to talk about xCloud. So it's coming. xCloud, it's the Stadia killer, if you ask me.
Well,
it's coming in. It's coming in September. So we're finally gonna get it. It's going to be in September, but there's a catch. Just like Stadia, if you want to play Stadia on mobile devices, you can only play on a Pixel phone.
right.
If you want xCloud, you can only play on Android phones as of right now. You cannot play on iPhone.
Right, which means you can't play on iPad either, or any
You can't play on
iDevices.
any iOS phones or anything like that. And iPhone has 49% market share. So
I wonder if that also carries over to, sorry to cut you off, but I wonder if that carries over to the laptop too, right? Or the desktop, like just Mac OS in general.
That's a good question. I wouldn't think so, right?
With the App Store though, right? You know, they have to approve the app and, you know, because from what I understand, Apple's stance was Sony's stance to where we don't know what you're going to put on the platform. We can't vet all these games, obviously. So thus, we're not going to, you know, push your app, or we're not gonna greenlight your app so you can put it in the store.
Well, let me ask you a question because I didn't really follow xCloud that well. Is it just an app, or like if you have a PC laptop, you have a
I got a Surface.
Surface. You have a Surface, right? Now, is it an app, or can I just go to like the xCloud.com and sign in and then start streaming, right?
I'm 99% sure you're going to need an app because the app will house like everything, right? I mean, sure, you're still talking to, you know, servers and like whatever else, but they're going to give you like a front, like a storefront, just like Steam or Good Old Games or the Epic Game Store, right?
Because like Stadia, you could do from your browser.
Yeah.
I mean, I tested Stadia on my Mac, on my Firefox, or not Firefox.
You weren't playing
Chrome,
the Assassin's.
Chrome.
You weren't playing the Assassin's Creed game, were you?
Yeah, I was playing on my Chrome.
Well, that's what they had. That's what they had pre-Stadia. That was like their kind of test.
Yeah, that was their test, but it was on the Chrome browser. That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
but I don't think all games. That was like a test run. Because Odyssey was out before, I think it was Odyssey or Origins, was out before Stadia launched. It was like hey, like, you know, we did this thing, and you can kind of try it out and play it. I maybe I'm not 100% sure, to be honest, but I think you need the app to kind of load up all the stuff, as opposed to doing it from the browser. I could be wrong.
Okay.
I could be wrong. Well, how was the experience, by the way? I need to ask you that.
I think I talked about it in the show. It was okay. I'm not much of a keyboard and mouse guy anymore. That was me once upon a time, 20 years ago, right in the early 90s. But
did they not have controller support?
Maybe, but I didn't use it. I just did it as a test. I just tested it out. I wasn't really like, I didn't play for hours.
You were just kind of curious, yeah.
I dipped my toe in the water for like an hour playing mouse and keyboard. So, and it was okay. And I can, you know, look, I can slowly be converted back to mouse and keyboard like I was when I played the original Doom. I'm just saying, it would be. This is, you know, like, I'm not, as an iPhone person, I'm not upset. I'm not really mad. This is not a service for me. Maybe that's why. If I really love the service and really want the service, maybe I'll be more upset. But I haven't heard any. I know people are mad online, but the people that I've heard mad are people that are Android users. I haven't really heard any iPhone users be upset. And maybe I did hear one person say she had an Android, but she was upset because she can't play it on her iPad, which is a bigger screen, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, you want the biggest screen possible, and you know the fact that the iPad is portable, right? If you have the kind of cell or the data plan or whatever with it, and you can technically play it anywhere. But I don't know, man. It's you know, when you talk about it being the Stadia killer, for the fact that it's not ubiquitous and you can't play it everywhere, like it hinders.
Well, neither is Stadia. Well, neither is Stadia. You can't play
right,
it everywhere.
right. So I mean that kind of really holds it back, right? It's a play anywhere if you have the right devices, right? It kind of like limits it a little bit. So
okay, but I want to throw a little shine on xCloud. Kind of over Stadia. Just look at these games that you could play from day one, right? Just listen to this real quick. You got Destiny 2, Forza Horizon 4, Gears of War 4, Gears of War 5 Ultimate Edition, Grounded, a new game, Halo 5 Guardians, Halo Wars 2, Master Chief Collection, Killer Instinct. So you got a fighting game in there. The Outer Worlds, Ori and the Blind Forest, Ori and the Will of the Wisp, Quantum Break, Recore, Sea of Thieves, State of Decay, Super Lucky's Tale, and Wasteland 3 and Yakuza Kiwami 2.
Yep.
Like from day one, you can play all these games.
Yep.
And Crackdown 3 if you care about that, the campaign. Had to throw that in there.
Yeah, that's the crown jewel right there.
Throw a little shine over Stadia, like Stadia. Get your games up. Get your games up.
It's obviously a superior service with a ton of good first party games, with more on the way. Everything that Microsoft puts out first party is definitely going to be on this list. So
well, the funny thing is they had a whole video on the peripherals that you can use, and it was just all the stuff that we've seen over the years that were like, Switch-like peripherals. Like it's just these two controllers that you can put your phone in, and it looks like a Switch.
Yeah.
All right. It's so funny. Like they're going through the peripherals, and we're like, these are all the garbage things we've seen over the years that still doesn't want me. I still don't want to be a mobile gamer.
Right. Well, I just took a look real quick. Looks like you can play these in the browser if you're using Chrome. So Stadia, you're able to play games within the browser, but you wouldn't be able to do it on like Safari or like Firefox. And
that's fine. You can just download Chrome.
Yeah,
you can just download Chrome and do it.
Mm-hmm. In most instances, yeah. So,
and lastly, we go to the Switch. We go to Nintendo. Let's go to Nintendo. What's going on with Nintendo? Just put out an E3 style direct. They keep giving us little snippets here and there, and I don't understand why. Just put them all together. You have the stuff. Just put them together, right? Just put them all together. They just, sort of stealth launched Pikmin 3 Deluxe for the Switch coming out in October.
I know they couched the last direct as a partner direct, but just make it a standard direct and bolt on the Pikmin 3 thing on the end, and then you have a decent Nintendo Direct. You have a decent little conference.
Well, all the rumors are that we're gonna get a real direct in like a week or two.
Right. So wait and add it to that. Unless they got more big news, which I hope. Maybe that's it. Maybe we're gonna get that Metroid Prime 4 announcement or the Metroid trilogy.
I swear, if the next direct is only like a Mario anniversary, I'm gonna be kind of pissed.
Dan's gonna go and quit gaming.
I'm gonna quit my Switch. I'm gonna tell you why. Because then you could have just, the last two things that you did, you could have just put them all together and been one big Nintendo Direct announcement.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Like why do you put out the American version of the Partners Direct? Sucked. It was really like 4 games. That was it.
Yeah.
Right? And then you have the Pikmin 3. You have the Smash characters, and you have the worst kept secret, the Mario Anniversary Collection. That is an awesome direct right there all together. And then put out another direct in September about the rest of the games that are coming out for the rest of the year, or what's coming out in 2021.
Yeah. Build it up a little bit. Turn it into a mini mountain instead of just a tiny little molehill.
Yeah, very upset about this. Very upset.
Yeah.
But I'm still going to get Pikmin 3. They took it down off the Wii U shop. They took it down.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Because it was like $10.
Right.
But now they want to sell it to me for $60 on the Switch.
Right. Listen, it'll be enhanced. It'll have enhanced visuals.
Well, I don't have any of the DLC. I do own the game, but I didn't buy any of the DLC, so I would be buying it so I can have the DLC. I like to get the games. I like to get the Game of the Year editions.
It'll have everything on one disc.
It has everything on one disc.
Right, you don't have to download anything. It's pretty solid. But yeah, I think we're going to end on that note. That is episode 230 in the books, and we want to thank you guys for doing all the good stuff that you do, listening to the show and commenting and liking and interacting with us. And if you want to interact with us, and we know that you do, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Patreon, and YouTube at Rated G for Gamers. Also note that we are part of the Gaming Podcast Alliance. Check out all of the fine podcasts featured on there if you're looking for more gaming goodness. So, please listen, like, rate, review, and subscribe. And as always,
keep gaming.